What's going on? Facebook Live, YouTube, boys and girls of the podcast platforms. Welcome back to another OG Show Live. Jay Randall.
Brian, how you doing?
What the heck was that? Oh, geez. It's going to be another fun one tonight. We got Mike McKinstry in the house. We're going to talk a little bit about what he's got going on. I know he dropped some stuff the last time he was on, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But before we do, a little over 2 weeks away from the Dale Hollow Open. Get signed up, boys and girls. 100% payback. Free dinner Saturday night. Jay will be giving free strip dances in the back room. I don't want to see that.
I have to start paying people actually to watch it. I don't know if it's a good model, but okay.
We announced this week too. Tightline Anchors is sponsoring the event, and they will be on site. They'll have some demo anchors for folks to try out throughout the weekend, and they will have some there for purchase as well. Talked to Richard today. He's got the TP set up. If anybody wants to camp out in the TP that weekend, you're more than welcome. I know he said he's got quite a few houseboat rooms rented out already. Cabins are rented, things like that. So exciting stuff, man. Super stoked to get back down to the old shores of Dale Hollow Lake and see all you fine folks and just have a good weekend, man.
Yep. Gorgeous area, man. Get signed up, everyone. It's a good time. Sorry. You know, it's funny. Like, I was talking to somebody about the podcast, it's always live. It's always live. And for whatever reason, I'm monitoring what I'm saying, and it's like I'm running into blocks. I just got walls up. It's like they're not letting words out. It's like, what's going on, man?
We got the ticker tape going back by popular demand this week again. So be sure to tune in, for future shows. If you guys are listening on the podcast platforms later on, there's some comedic relief in there, so to speak. So, but good stuff, man. I know Mike had to step away for a second. He'll be right back, but he's got some cool stuff, man. It's pretty incredible. I was thinking about it today on the way home from work, like what Mike has accomplished, kayak angler to TV show. Now he's releasing this children's book, a board game. His new season of the TV show is going to be on Discovery Channel. Like all super, super cool stuff, man. It's good to see, somebody in our space, move up that ladder and succeed,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got one of the books and I actually showed it I got it yesterday, so I showed it some coworkers today, and they were really impressed. And these are people like have kids and everything, and I actually went through it too, and it's well done. I will say that I don't want to show it right now because Mikey's going to show it, but I think it's really cool. I mean, I would never even think of doing something like this, and yet it's like so obvious someone should have done it, and Mike's doing it. So. And there's good stuff in here. Like there's good lessons to be learned. It's a very age appropriate book. I think your kids will love it. It's a really great book. I mean, the artwork is amazing. Like it really is good. I was actually surprised.
I mean, if Jay's learning life lessons from it, that means it is age appropriate. I mean,
I like how big the letters and the words are.
Pretty much
it's easier to read that way.
2 through 7.
Yeah,
Jay can understand it.
For me, this is like a novel.
Jay's fiance reads it to him at night before he goes to bed. I'm sure Mike's going to jump on that train.
Saves me from my night terrors.
Oh, too funny. He sat back down. I was about to bring him in, and then he walks away.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what this guy,
Squirrel.
Yeah, definite squirrel.
Yeah.
Definite squirrel.
But hope you guys all enjoyed the show from last week. I know there was a lot of comedic relief in there, and it seemed pretty aimless, but we had a lot of fun with our good friend Thomas Langston from Tightline Anchor, and we appreciate those guys. Go check them out. The new K5. We actually pulled up on that last show, the new River Anchor which we're allowed to talk about now. And I know those are in production, getting ready to release. So keep an eye out for that. If you're a river fisherman, it'll replace your drag chain and all that good stuff, man. I'm super stoked for it. I got to test it out in the R&D phases, but I think we got him back. You ready to go?
Talking me or him?
Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mike McKinstry. Welcome.
What's up?
Good to see you.
I was trying to get this. I was trying to get this banner. I couldn't get it set up in the right spot.
It's all good, man. Well, welcome back to the show, dude. You got a lot of cool, exciting stuff going on, and it's always good to see you back in the mix.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Oh, I just want to add in the ticker tape, Vegas line on the number of times Jay Randall speaks in this podcast is plus 450. So your line up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Get on some of that action. I'm going to bust that today.
Okay, there we go. I was got a shadow on my face. All right. So
where do you want to start, dude?
I didn't get to hear what you guys said to prep me being on here because I was too busy chasing down this banner this whole time.
We didn't even talk about you.
You didn't? Okay. My camera's over here.
The show is like just, I mean, everything revolves around Mike,
No, honestly, I'm trying to see if I can put my laptop by the, I'm so unprepared today. Like I'm always so prepared for this kind of stuff.
Did you hear that Jay admitted his fiance reads your new children's book to him every night before he goes to bed?
You know what's cool about that? Normally I would be so excited to make fun of you, but I've had so many adults literally tell me like, hey, I'm gonna buy another copy for me. Like I legitimately like the story. And I don't want my kids to ruin the book that I have, so I'm gonna order another one. Most of our sales, people have bought them for themselves that they're going to share with their kids. And then when they read it, then they usually order a second one. It's amazing. I was just telling someone today, we are 7 books away, I believe, from selling out of our first printing in less than a month.
Oh, wow, dude. That's awesome.
Ridiculous. We didn't order a crazy amount, but it's over 100 books in the first 3 weeks. I mean, and it didn't even hit Amazon until yesterday. Like that's just all through my website directly. So the book has been, insane. Like it's not supposed to be a money maker. Like I'm not making any money on this thing for a while. Like it's so expensive to make this book. I just want the story out there so bad. It's something I just was so passionate about for so long. And after we did the board game, me and my buddy Josh, who I've been friends with for 14 years now, he's an incredible illustrator. He did my board game, he did a bunch of stuff. And I was like, dude, I really want to do this children's book, man. I know they're hard to do. It's a pain. I said, but I've been writing my whole life. Like, I feel like I can do it. I'm confident. I don't know if I can do it. It might fail, but do you want to jump on the ship with me and see if it sinks or not? He's like, dude, let's do it. And like, I shared the first story with him and he was like, I'm on board. I like it. We actually have 12 books. Just the first one is the only one that came out yet. We're doing like a month or two apart. That way there's time for everyone to like get the story and read it and get prepared for the next one. Cause they all kind of follow in order with each other. And it's super cool.
That's cool, man. I thought you were only releasing one. I didn't know it was like a whole 12.
It's a series. Dude. Like on the side of the book, it says book 1 right here on the side, so people know that there's more. But I mean, I'm gonna drop a lot of exclusives on this one, man, like normal. But like, there's 12, which I haven't really released too much. And if you don't mind, actually, like, do you mind? Can I give you like a synopsis of what the book series itself is about?
Yes, please.
Yes. All right. Story time, everybody. Yes. Story time. Let's go to a magical place.
Oh my God.
All right. So do you expect anything less that I'm on the show?
No. He comes with his own noises, people.
That's the nicest way I've ever heard it. So all right. So the first book, it's called The Adventures of Seth'S Squatch. And the first book is called The Bassquatch Hunter, because this is the story of how he got the name The Bassquatch Hunter. So I'm going to read the back of the book right here to you. Just a little quick thing right here.
Yeah.
By the way, don't sleep on the award it won right here. It's got a gold seal, which means it won something. And it's the Bassquatch seal of approval. It won the first ever Bassquatch book award that we issued ourselves. So Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that like liking your own picture when you like post it or
Oh,
something?
100%. And I always do that too. And people are like, dude, did you like your own post? I'm like, why would I post it if I didn't like it? Like, of course I like my own post. Like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so so the back of the book says, when Seth Squatch, by the way, this is Seth Squatch right here. He's our mascot. When Seth Squatch meets a human for the first time, he is nervous and scared, but an unlikely friendship changes Seth's perspective on life and sends him on remarkable adventures. Each book in this series teaches valuable lessons that can be applied in life. This book teaches about meeting new people, trying new things, having patience and determination. Maybe you too will go on new adventures. Oh, that's my phone.
Or get a phone call.
Yep. There, I stopped it. Sorry. I had my ringer up so I didn't fall asleep before the interview. So so that's what the story's about. The story is about, without giving the whole book away, Seth is a Sasquatch that's lived in the woods for hundreds of years. His family's lived in the woods for thousands of years. On the first page of the book, it shows you back in 1967, which that is a true story. This actual picture right here was taken of a Sasquatch. It was the first ever picture of the only actual picture of a Sasquatch that exists. And that was his grandpappy Sam Squatch going out to get coffee in the morning. But so Seth has been told to never leave the woods, never meet humans, always stay away from people or anyone different than him, because they're hunting him and they're trying to find him and prove his existence. And then they'll ruin their woods and their wildlife and their way of life. So, kind of stay with your own. Well, one day he went to go get water for his family, and he ended up seeing a human for his first time. And it was a kayak fisherman that wandered back into the woods like we always do, and ended up on this remote area of the river back through Seth's little world. And Seth was like, oh my gosh, here's my chance as a human. So he meets a human for the first time. And there's some Easter eggs in this book I'm going to tell you guys about too. But he meets a human for the first time and realizes that, it's not that scary. And it was actually pretty cool. So he wanted to see what he could learn from this human. So he taught him how to fish, caught his first Sasquatch-sized fish, hence the word Bassquatch came up. And then Seth realized that people aren't so scary, aren't so bad. So he wanted to leave the woods every single day and find a new human, a new adventure, and learn something new from someone different than him. So the first book after this, and it tells you, if you buy the book, it tells you on the last page right here that check out for the next story where Seth meets a race car driver, because the first episode we ever filmed of the actual Basquatch Hunter show on the format we do now 4 years ago was with the race car driver. So every book in the series is based off a real live guest that we filmed with, and what we actually really learned from that guest and what that guest really actually learned from fishing with us for the first time. So it's all based off of so much, like this book is so personal. The name Seth was actually the name I wanted to change my name to when I was a kid. And I don't think I've ever publicly said this because it's embarrassing now in a way. Seth Green was like my hero, the little short redhead dude. So like, he was like one of my favorite like comedians. He was a comic book guy. And like, I was just huge into comics when I was a kid. So I've always wanted to change my name to Seth when I was younger, like when I was really little. So like I picked the name Seth because it sounded like Sasquatch. So Seth Squatch. The fisherman in the book, his name is Joey. My middle name is Joseph. My mom calls me Joey. So it's kind of like a little thing there. He gets made fun of. You've read the book, right, Jay?
Yep.
He gets made fun of for being a smaller Sasquatch. I don't know where that came from. He's got his little dog Cedar that he named after his favorite tree. That's my dog in there, but it's not how I named him, but that's how Seth named him. So it's got a lot of personal things in this book. And then every adventure, the NASCAR driver he meets, he learns how to be patient and not be distracted, and learns how to have endurance. When he meets a comedian, he learns how to make things that are kind of sad and kind of scary. He learns how to make them funny and learns how to make other people laugh to get them through their tough times. So like every book not only is based off of a real person, but it's literally what I really learned from them as a person. From people that were different than me. So that's why these books are so personal to me. And I feel like every kid, adult, teenager, boy or girl, doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, I feel like you can relate to every single one of these stories. And they don't all have to go together. That's the coolest part. You can buy book 1, 5, 6, 9, and 10, and it doesn't matter. They don't like follow each other, but if you follow the story for each one, you'll like kind of follow his path. You'll follow like from when he first started as he ventures out and gets more adventurous. And there's seasonal themes, like winter theme where he meets the hockey player we filmed with, the figure skaters we filmed with, and snowboarder we filmed with. Then there's like the summer themed, and like there's fall as the first theme. So like there's a lot of really cool like things in there. And then there's hidden gems in the book everywhere that, honestly, I'm kind of waiting until people find them until I tell people about them. But there's like little hidden things that are super personal to me, hidden in the book and everywhere. Here's that page right here where Seth gets made fun of for being a smaller Sasquatch. But like Jay said, the art is absolutely amazing. Like the art, this is it's like an art book more than like, it's so good. My artist is a genius.
I mean, this one picture, and I'm going to show it if that's all right.
You can show whatever you want, man.
Okay. I don't know what it is about this picture.
Dude, that's my favorite.
This is because this picture, even though, like it's different than the rest of the pictures. This is like I don't know. There's something about this. Like it's just like, it's a deep picture, man. I don't know. I like the contrast and just like how, like the moon is like the backlight. It's just really, it's a really neat picture.
Crazy. So what's crazy is people don't notice, like, this is how good my artist is. The family picture right here. There's Sasquatches that are gray because they're grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's aged Sasquatches. Like there's like little details like that. There's even where's that page I just had open? The page where Seth is getting made fun of for being a small Sasquatch. It's got a purple tone to it because it's sad. So it's like it's like a legitimate artistic book. Like there's a lot of, and that picture that you pointed out too, with the moonlight, like that picture was super like. So what's crazy about that is if you can see, here's a little hidden gem about that. Cedar, the dog, is walking to the moon. He's got his little paw up. That's his stance, kind of. That's just how he is in real life. That's how he always is. That picture, I actually have printed out and I'm getting framed separately, like dead serious.
Yeah.
Because most people know that follow me. My dog is terminally ill right now again for the second time in 2 years. He has congestive heart failure and his kidneys are failing again. So I have like a lot of memorial pictures. Like he's like my son, literally. So this picture is one of them because it was so personal to me of Seth kind of embodying me a little bit. And then him and Cedar walking off. So like we're having like a little thing in every single book where Seth and his dog kind of walk back to their house in the moonlight kind of thing together. And it's like a really,
it's thing. That's why it's a different picture from the rest of the pictures.
But then like here's where he meets like
it.
This is how good the art looks. It's where he meets the human for the first time. And it's my first kayak was lime green, so it's a lime green kayak. Then my favorite picture in the entire book, I'll show you guys this one. My favorite picture, and a lot of people have said this too, so it's not just my favorite. So just the look of like, the Cedar's face, his chin's up in the air, like he's like, just super confident and happy. And that's after they caught their big fish. And, it's just such a cool, like, I don't know. This book is super personal to me, so I can talk about it all day. But
so we got real quick, Mike, we got a question from Cam Steele in the chat. He says, is this book available for indie bookstores to get a hold of, or are you the only place we can get it?
So it is. I've actually had a lot of requests for wholesale pricing. The problem is I will let you know and anybody else know if you want to do wholesale pricing. I want this in bookstores. But since we're doing micro prints, as they call them, because we're doing less than 1,000 copies at once, our prices are high. Like we're making a few dollars per book. So our wholesale pricing is like pretty much us putting it down to cost, which is totally fine. We just want to get it out there as much as we can. And once this takes off, like if we're doing 100 a month or something like that, we're going to start ordering 1,000. So we'll get our prices down. But the wholesale price on them is still, it's just a few dollars less than retail. But the retail price by law, it's printed on the back. So everyone sells it for the same price. So yes, you can buy them wholesale. You can make a few bucks on them still wholesale. And I'm happy to do that. So if anybody wants indie bookstore stuff, and it's funny because I've had a lot of messages about that and I haven't done any of them yet because I tell them flat out, like it's like $14 or something like that, or $15, I think our wholesale price is, because with shipping, with everything, that's what they cost. Like it's an expensive book. It's 8 by 11. Like it's a big hardcover, 80-pound satin paper. Like we did every like premium quality thing we could do so they can last forever. So
it's a proper book for sure.
Yeah, it is. Like I've had people message me and they're like, "Oh, I thought it was paperback." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You did not." I'm like, "You thought it'd be paper? Like out of all the quality you saw on that thing?" Like, no, it's premium hardcover. Like these are nice books.
No, it
But we
is.
want it to last because we want everyone to have the whole set, and we want them to last so we can pass them down because it's a timeless story. You know, it's how I started in this sport. It's how I started in mixed martial arts. How I started in hockey it's like I never knew anybody. Like my dad doesn't play hockey. My dad doesn't do mixed martial arts. My dad doesn't fish. Like I didn't have anyone in my life that did these things with me. So I was always like a stranger in every big hobby or sport. And fishing was that for me, where I didn't know anybody. And I showed up to an event and I made friends within 4 seconds, and not just like friends where I got like had conversation, but like friends that I still talk to this day, like friends that looked out for me and, you know, took care of me when I flipped over in my first tournament. And that's what these stories mean is, you know, get out and try new things and meet new people because you never know. Like one of my best friends I met that still today we're still best friends, met kayak fishing because his kayak sank. Like you never know how you meet people, but you have to get out and try new things. And I also want to encourage people to quit their jobs. If you're not happy with your job, quit your job. Like it sounds so dumb and irresponsible, which it kind of is, but you know, if you're not happy with something, just find something that makes you happy. And I want to encourage kids to do that before they make a choice. Like we all do it. You know, I had a job for 13 years that I thought I was going to do the rest of my life. And I knew I wasn't happy because I was always opening up other businesses on the side, trying to find something else that I was more passionate about until the fishing thing took off. And then I was like, this is it. And I quit my job. And it was the best thing I've ever done. And I want to encourage kids to do that from the start. Like if you want to be a comedian, you can hear the story of how Seth, a Sasquatch, got to be a comedian for a day and what he learned. If you want to be a country music star, a hockey player, or whatever it is, like I want people to be able to read this book and go, hey, like Sasquatch can do it. You know, he learned this and this and this. I want to do that too. Like that sounds like fun. And I'm hoping that people copy the journey of Seth. And like, I know it sounds cheesy, but like, I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they're like, hey, I want to do the same thing. I want to go meet 10 new people and try 10 new things and see what I like. You never know. You know what I mean? Like if we would have done that when we were kids, like what would you have done, Jay? If you had a choice to go back to your let's say you were 15 years old.
15, huh?
And not like an astronaut or anything like, you know,
Yeah.
or obviously like athlete.
Are you calling me dumb?
No, I was calling you fat, but yeah.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I'm just joking.
That's great.
But no, seriously, if you 15-year-old Jay, what would you have done if you could try any career to see if you liked it or not? Whether it's athlete, musician, professional, anything.
I think I was actually playing baseball those days, so I think baseball was kind of, you know, like everybody else. You're like, oh, that'd be cool, but you know, skateboarding was also there.
So what would you think? So seriously, think about this though. What would you think if you were 15 again, or 12 or anything, any you know, be preteen, and you got to hang out with a professional baseball player, and like you had the motivation to do it, and you're like, I just want to be around it and see what happens, and then you ended up like realizing like, hey, this is my path, or it's not my path. Like, how much could that change your life? You know what I mean? Like,
true.
And that's the thing. Like, I wasn't told that when I was a kid. That's not a slam on my parents or anything. Obviously, my parents just weren't the kind of parents that were like, dude, do anything you want, even if it's like completely a dead end and you completely waste your life. Like my parents were like responsible, and they're like, no, go to college, get a job, like have something stable. And I was like, no, I'm going to create a job. Like I always wanted to be self-employed my whole life. I've started businesses I have business cards on my wall on a frame from when I was 8 years old. Like I've always wanted to be my own boss and have my own business. And I've been doing it since I was a kid. My whole family's been entrepreneurs. My grandfather, his family, my parents, like, so I didn't want to grow up and get a job. Like I just didn't. And it wasn't because I was lazy. It was the opposite. It was because it was boring. And anytime I've had a job, a corporate job or anything like that, I've just been miserable. And I'm like, this isn't exciting enough. And I think it's so cool to be able to tell kids, like, or show kids. I mean, you can just show them with the book, be like, look, you want to get exposed to country music, like go meet a country singer. Like it's not hard. It's just scary. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that this book takes away the scary part. You know what I mean? And lets them know, like a mid 30-year-old fisherman. I say mid 30s, gonna be nice because I just turned 39. But a fisherman in his 30s literally just hang out with a country singer and play guitar with her all night, and it was one of the coolest things ever. I got to race with a NASCAR racer, which is one of the coolest things ever. I got to skate with Olympic hopeful figure skaters, and I legitimately asked if I could buy figure skates from them afterwards because I want to do it more often. Like you never know if you try something, if you could be passionate about it. So doing that as an adult, I feel like, you know, the kids nowadays, like my nephews are like, you know, 10, 11 years old. My oldest nephew, he can do everything. in anything he wants. Like, he's so smart and so talented. They have technology. They were brought up with all this cool stuff. Like, he could do so much better than I could ever do so early on in life. And it's like, why not encourage that and say, dude, go talk to an IT guy if you want to do code or something, or go, like, whatever you want to do, just go meet someone. You know what I mean? Meet someone different, walk up and be like, hey, you do podcasts? I want to do that one day. Teach me. And if I don't like it, cool. But at least you get exposed to it. And I want to give people the confidence to do it, because that's what I wish I would have done when I was younger. That'd have been amazing.
So I know we got a big NASCAR fan out there. Who was the NASCAR driver you filmed that show with? I forget off the top of my head. I know he's a big
hat. Oh no, it's not over here. Where's the hat? I had his hat behind me somewhere. Somewhere in my office. His name is Tyler Ankrum. He was the Rookie of the Year NASCAR driver in the Truck Series when we filmed with him 4 years ago, and he just placed really well. I think it was at Daytona, actually, but he's still doing amazing. He's a great dude. So we filmed with him, but what's really special about that episode is there's a few things. One, it was my first episode of that format where I took someone in my world and went in their world. Second thing, we were the first fishing show in NASCAR history to have licensing from NASCAR to film at an actual live race, which was a huge deal for us. We had a 7-person crew, including myself, and we were all at the NASCAR race, and we were in the pits on the track, and we all had NASCAR vests on. We were literally had free reign to go anywhere and everywhere and film everything and anything. And I got to sign the checkered flag on the track itself, which our driver crashed when he was in first place in the four laps left. Sorry. He crashed on the finish line right where I signed my name, and we have a picture of it. It's amazing. And it was such a cool experience. But that episode, still to this day, was one of the most educational episodes, because we raced go-karts at this really famous go-kart place in Jackson, Michigan, where like every famous, like you name it, like Earnhardt, Gordon, every famous NASCAR name has been there and raced these like rickety, like bolted together, like completely dangerous, like karts. Like, you can tell the dude that owns a place, like, I mean, he tells everybody he's very, very excited to tell his story. He's been there since the 70s, and he just sits there and throws some beers back and just watches people race. And that's it. And like, he's a diehard racer. We went around dirt track the whole time before we did pavement. And I learned how to break tires loose. I learned how to drift. I learned how to I had the faster car, and this kid was smoking me. And I was like, okay, so I need to learn about weight distribution. Like, it was such a cool, like, I wanted to do it forever. Like, I was like, man, I wish I would have been in a racing. Like, my dad did that. My dad had track records for racing back in the day, racing midgets and everything. And I could have got into that, but it's like, man, that's kind of what inspired me to change my show the way I did, where I was like, I need to do this more often. Like, not only was that the best experience of my life, but I wanted to replicate it with every single genre that I could. And I wanted to share it with everybody and be like, hey, look how amazing this is. Like, kayak fishing is cool. Like, it's awesome. But how cool is it that a kayak fisherman just got to go race cars with a NASCAR driver? And then, after that, we did, WWE wrestlers and UFC fighters and, famous comedians and 90s rock bands and, all these cool people where it's like, holy crap, like the things that I've got to do, like zip line over gator swamps and just like the stuff that I've gotten to do. We did an episode with a 1947 Piper seaplane. Which is one of the scariest things I've done in my life. I'm afraid of heights as it is. And I was in this little go-kart with wings, and it was just incredible. Like, the things that I get to share with people, and hopefully, even if it's only one viewer out of the millions of people that watch the show, if one person just goes, you know what, I want to go try something new, or you know what, that looked like fun, I want to go try that. Or, you know what, I want to be a fireman after watching him be a fireman for a day. Like, I wanted to have that feeling. I want to do it. And it's like, or I want to challenge myself to see if I can do it. Like, and that's what's so cool. And after I've been doing that for like, this is my 7th year, I was like, well, how do I reach more kids? Because changing adults' hearts and minds is tough. Like, we're stubborn people, but inspiring kids, like, that's possible. Like, kids are like just so open to everything. So I was like, that's where the book comes in. That's where the board game comes in. It's where all these things come in, where I'm like, I work with 600 kids a year at the kids camps, and I teach them how to fish, and that's great, but I want to teach them how to do more. Like, I feel like my experience in life wasn't fishing. It was taking risks. It was, taking a gamble on myself and seeing if I could live up to my own, my own expectations, I guess, or my own, ambition. There's this saying from the movie Blow with Johnny Depp. And I don't know if it's a true saying from George Young or if it was written for the movie, but it said something about how his expectations always exceeded his talents, or his ambition always exceeded his talent. And I've always loved that saying for some reason, because it's so cool when you think about it. Like, it's a cool thing if your ambition exceeds your talent. Like, that means if you want, like, if I want to be a basketball player, obviously I can't play in the NBA. I'm 5'5", you know, and I'm not good enough no matter what. But if I have enough ambition, you can do anything. You really can. You might not be the best at it, but you can literally do anything if you have enough ambition. So
True.
That quote always kind of stuck with me, where it's like, that was, I don't know if he meant it as a positive or negative in that context, but I've always taken it as a positive, where I always try to make sure that my ambition is up here, even if my talent's not in here. Mm-hmm. But I want people to know that's okay. You know, like, if you want to be a podcaster, like, look at you, Jay. Like, you don't have to be good. You can just do it. You know,
it's true.
There's Brian.
So Thomas Langston, he and I know he's referring back to the NASCAR. He says, "Did you meet the king?" And no, if you say who's the king, you're going to probably have some issues.
I did not meet the king. But I will say this, though. The king is actually more attainable than anybody else, because the king runs his own, like, driving experience class. So it's actually, we thought about that originally, but I was just like, I wanted to film with, like, someone young, and, like, you know, the rookie of the year was just like a bonus, but I was like, I just want to film with someone young and that's just literally chasing their dreams. And that's kind of what we've done with everyone in our show. Like, it's not that I don't want to work with A-listers. It's just that I prefer to work with the people that are literally in the process of following their dream. Like, the figure skaters, they're so talented and they're incredible. They've won national championships. They've won, like, all these crazy things, but they haven't been to the Olympics yet. Like, they're this close. They haven't been yet, so they're chasing it still. And I loved that storyline. I was like, I don't want to, like, I could have reached out to Olympic figure skaters. There's plenty of rinks around me, and I've played hockey for 35 years. I know a lot of people at the rinks, but to me, it's just like, I like that, like, the country singer that was just on The Voice last year we filmed with. It's like, she's not a multi-million album selling country artist yet. And that's what I love about her, is that she's hungry. She's still chasing that dream. She's grinding. She's in the same spot that any of us would be if we decided to pick up music and we were extremely talented at it, like she is. It's the chase. And that's what I love showing people. And this book, literally, this is just the kids' version of my episodes. This is just like the educational version of my episodes. But every book has humor in it. It has like the NASCAR one's got some really funny stuff in it too. Like, every book is just so personal. Like, it just sounds so weird to say that, but, like, I'm so emotionally attached. I handwrite each one of these in a journal. Oh, I had it up here a minute ago. It's over there on the couch. I have a journal with Seth's face on it, like, dead serious. So, like, every time I open it, it's his face on the front of it. And I handwrite every story in there before I type it up, because I want to purposely keep this journal with all 12 of the first 12 books in it. So it's like, it's super personal to me. But yeah, I'm really glad you like it too, Jay, for real, because every adult that's read it has said amazing things about it too. And the kids that have read it, I mean, younger kids, like under 6 years old, they just want to see the pictures of the dog. But anyone over 6 years old, they're like, oh, that's such a cool story. And I ask all the kids. So there's a part in this book. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, guys. You can cut me off.
You're good, man. You're good.
There's a page in every book. And I hope my artist doesn't get mad that I'm just, like, sharing this without, like, people buying the book to see it. But there's Seth's Journal on this page, where he writes a journal entry from each experience in his own words. Like, this one says, "What a great day. I met an actual human. I hope they're all just as nice. Meeting him made me feel adventurous. I like that feeling. He taught me how to fish, be patient, and blah, blah, blah." You got to buy the book for the rest. And then there's a map of where they fished right here with a little X right outside of his home. And for those of you who follow my stuff, you know, this map is actually the board game. And that's on purpose, obviously. The board game is his world. So this is the same map as the board game. It's just a sketch drawing of the original sketch of the original board game. So every book will be a different spot they fish. And then in the back, it'll say, if you want to fish as Seth, then you buy the board game. But the part I'm getting to is the next page, where it says the Adventurer's Journal right here. So every book will have the Adventurer's Journal that the reader could figure out and fill out. And this one says, like, what is one human you'd love to meet one day? What's your favorite adventure you've been on? Who's your favorite person to do new things with? And what's the biggest fish you've ever seen in person? So everyone gets to fill out their own part of the adventure to be part of this adventure. So, like, the NASCAR one will have NASCAR race car or, themed questions. There's a custom, I don't know if it's in this one because this is my no, it's not in this one. There's a custom sticker sheet in the back of this that has all the characters on it. Do you have that in your book, Jay? On the inside of the back. Did you even know that?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh,
You know
on the
what
inside.
it was? I got like there's that last
His
picture for me, man.
fiance reads the book
Yeah.
to him, Mike. So like
Yes.
he
Is it
doesn't
really?
he doesn't do
Oh,
it.
it's just a blank page. Oh, okay. All
On
right.
the inside back cover.
Yep, I got it.
Can you hold it up? Because I don't have mine with me. So that's a sticker sheet. So each one of those characters are individual stickers. So the pike, the cedar, my dog, the bait, the bass, the skunk, the Seth head, and the Seth Squatch, and the fish on in the middle. Those are all stickers. So every book has a unique set of stickers, so you can collect them all through every book. Where the race car book will have race car themed ones, the comedian one will have like microphones and stuff too, and fish and all the other stuff. So every book has its own set of stickers. So it lets kids go on their own adventure. After they read about Seth's adventure, they get to write what, their parts of their adventure. They get to read Seth's journal entry. So hopefully it encourages them to make their own journal and start keeping track of their adventures and maybe new people they meet. Then they also get a custom sticker pack to decorate something to remind them of each adventure they went on. And I want these books to be personal to kids because it's personal to me. So I want people to like read this and remember it and actually take something from it and just be like, you know what? I'm going to go meet Tim over there because he's different than me. And instead of picking on him for being different, maybe I can learn something from him. Maybe he knows some really cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like we used to pick on kids for being good at video games when we were younger, but now like I play Call of Duty every day and I'm so jealous of these 10-year-old kids that beat the crap out of me on there because they're so good. And it's like, man, I wish I would have picked on those kids that were good at, GoldenEye on 64 back in the day because I should have been learning from them instead,
So Cam Steele's asking, what's the target age range for the books if you haven't already said that?
So it's 6 to 12. And the only reason why it's 6 to 12 is because of the word count, the page numbers, and the size of the book. But personally, I always say it's 6 to 16. The only reason why they cut off at 12 is because it doesn't have like, for some reason for teen books, they call it mature content now, which is completely different than it used to be, obviously. But if it's for 12 and up or 12 to 18, it could be mature content. And this is not considered mature content because it's a picture book. So I say 6 to 16 because I think there's something that people could take away from this very easily. It's not written for 3-year-olds. It's not written in crayon. There's no big words really, but there are words that have meaning. So 6 to 12 is the safe bet though.
Yeah, he said if books aren't personal, especially kids' books, are usually busts.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's the thing too, is we didn't think this book was going to take off. We just wanted to put it out there. I made a website for it. It's sethsquatch.com. So seth-squatch.com is the, if you want to tag that in there for me, I'd appreciate it. You can click that link and go right to this page exactly. Or you can go to bassquatchhunter.com and then see our whole website. We have a whole new website this year, which we should get into that. Because I've been talking a lot, but we should get into that part. But have a whole new website this year for the new show. And on there, you can click store and it'll take you to where the book is. The board games are out of stock right now because we're waiting for our Kickstarter. And then I was reading a comment and I got distracted.
Yeah.
And then you can buy like limited edition hats, like the one I'm wearing. Not the exact one I'm wearing. There's a bag of them, but you can buy limited edition decals. Like there's other stuff on the store, but seth-squatch.com will go right to the actual book. So you can go on and buy the book. And if you want it, every book is autographed. I sign every book. We have like, I think 6 or 8 of the first printings left. And then we're going to be out of stock for a couple weeks because I ordered the second printing. But didn't think it was going to be this quick. So I didn't think we'd have any time with the book. Our new book is being illustrated right now. We just got back from the editor and our editor's in London. So it's like a huge, like it takes a while for it to go back and forth. So we just got it back from the editor. It's in illustrating now. So it should be about 4 to 6 weeks before book number 2 comes out. But we have another printing of these coming in the next 2 weeks as well. But do you have any other questions? Do you guys have any other questions about the book, or does anybody out there listening have any questions about the book before I start explaining some really cool stuff about the new show?
Thomas Langston asked, is there a D for D sticker in the NASCAR book?
Is that like a NASCAR thing I should know?
Oh man, do it for Dale.
Oh man, I do know that.
That just happened live.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on. Okay, so I do know that. I just wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, no, it will not be obviously, but we're not using the name or likeness of the NASCAR driver in the book itself. So we are not having any specific stickers for any like racing thing that we're gonna get in trouble for, but there will be some cool stuff that I think kids will really like and be able to decorate their tackle boxes with. And you know, a lot of kids are decorating the back of the book even, which is kind of cool too, or the inside of the book or whatever. We were going to make like a sticker activity page where you can put the stickers on the page, but I was like, no. We did a sketch page where kids can color in the sketch if they want.
That's
right
cool.
Here. So that's like original. Those are original pencil sketches of the characters in the book. Like these are actual pages of the book before they were. I guess how good my artist is. He does it all with sketch first. It's incredible. So kids can color in the actual sketches if they want to. But 2023 episodes. Holy crap. So those of you who don't know, I have a show called the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water. And it's now called the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water instead of just the Bassquatch Hunter. And we changed the name of it this year because we wanted to be more explanatory in the title. Every year of the show, everyone always asks me what's it called and how do you spell it and what does it mean? And I forget, like I'm so used to hearing the word Bassquatch by now that it's a real word to me. And I forget that it's not like a real word. So people don't know what it means. And they're like, it's a what? I'm like, Bassquatch. They're like, hold on. What is that a B? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Like, this is hard. So I wanted to change the name of the show 3 years ago, but I trademarked the name, and right after I trademarked it, people started infringing it like crazy. And instead of taking legal action on them, I decided to kind of encourage it. So like Field and Stream, Amazon, like everybody has taken the name and used it for apparel all over the place. I get messages from people all over. Didn't one of you guys send me a message from the Classic with someone?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
So it's like people, and it's that same logo, but people wear them everywhere. And it made mine the name that I own the trademark of 10 times more popular, 100 million times more popular. So now when people Google the name Bassquatch because they saw some guy at the Classic wear the shirt that wasn't mine, I'm the first like 50 results. So it's like, do it. Like, I don't care. It's not taking money out of my pocket. I don't really care. Unless someone starts a TV show with the word Bassquatch in it, then it's not really an infringement on me anyway at this point. Like, I don't really care. We decided to keep the name, but we wanted to add to it to make it more explanatory. So we added the fish out of water because every single episode, me and my guest are both a fish out. I say it in all the episodes already, so it just was a natural fit. But we're both a fish out of water. Like the country singer is a fish out of water in a kayak, and being out of her element. And then when I'm at a bonfire in front of a crowd playing music with her, I'm a fish out of water, out of my element. So the new show is called the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water, and it's on the Discovery Channel on May 20th. It starts airing on Discovery Channel, and then it airs every week after that for 6 weeks. It's 6 episodes in a row, and that is on the Pursuit Channel starting last week, and then airs until September. So we air full 12 episodes, full season on Pursuit Channel. It's 104 airings. It airs 4 times a week, every single week for the next 24 weeks left. And then it airs 6 weeks on Discovery, just a half season for now, just because we were kind of testing out Discovery Channel this year. But we already got approved for a full season for next year, and we're definitely doing it for sure. But man, this season, like, I'm going to assume everybody listening to this has at least heard of the show. But if you haven't seen it, please go on YouTube and watch any of the episodes from like the 2022 playlist. And I edited my own show for 5 years. So every episode you see on there, I've edited myself, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 episodes that we tried an editor out here and there. But for the most part, I've edited everything. And I thought I did a really good job. I was really proud of my work. Like every time I got done with an episode, I was always like, that's my best one. It's my best one. Like, I was so proud of myself. And then I hired professional editors this year, and talk about being humbled and feeling, I'm a short dude, but like, I've never felt 3 inches tall before. And when a professional editing team gave me my first episode for this year, I seriously, I sat down and I was just like, holy, like, this is my show. Like, and everybody's reaction, even Pursuit Channel, their quality control department told me 2 days ago. They're like, we all sat down and watched your first episode, and we were all saying the same thing. Like, it looks like a show you see on the Discovery Channel. And I'm like, it is a show you see on the Discovery Channel. She goes, no, but it looks like it now. And I was like, yeah, I know, but because it is, so we had to step it up to make it look like it is. So it's like, it's such a crazy difference of quality, and just like, it's the same show. We just filmed it way better. We edited it way better. We had better storylines. And, I was definitely a big part of the creative process of all of it, but my editing team and my camera crew, and like, they're using like $30,000 to $50,000 cameras. Like, every camera we use is like, there's no exceptions anymore. There's no like, oh, we'll use the small camera for this shot. Like, every single lens is like a $20,000 to $40,000 lens. Like, everything is done. Like, we have a sound guy, we have an audio editing guy, a coloring guy. Like, it's just ridiculous. So I want everyone to watch an episode from last season, just so that you can like see it before you see one from this season, because right now they're on cable, but they'll be on YouTube starting May 27th. The first episode will be on YouTube, which is the dairy farm episode, which was incredible, like such a great experience. And then the second episode is Sadie Bass, the amazing country singer. Like I'm such a huge fan of this chick. Like, not just as a person, but as a musician. Like, her music is so good, and she's so raw. Like, if you look at her social media, she's like 5'9", gorgeous. She was a college athlete. But she like slams beers. Like, she sounds like a hillbilly, like not in a bad way at all, but like, she's like a true country, like trucks in the mud, like skins her own deer. Like, she's the most authentic person in the world. Like, she has no choice but to be herself. You know what I mean? And then when you hear her music, it's all there. It's not like cheesy bubblegum pop country music. It's like real music. That episode's mind blowing to me, how good it looks. Like, my mom doesn't watch this podcast. No offense, sorry, but she doesn't watch podcasts. But so I don't feel bad saying this, but my mom cried when she saw the preview of the episode that I showed her. I showed her like a rough draft of it, and she literally cried because she's like, it was just emotional. Like, it was just powerful. And I was like, it was like, her story is so cool. But every episode this year is like that. Like, every episode is just so like, your hashtags are making me laugh, dude.
I know. He's like out of control.
I'm trying to ignore it. I was like, holy crap, country singer. More of a Mike. I thought
there's a method to the madness, I'm sure.
There is.
More famous than Mike. And I was like, yeah, okay, I get that. She's on The Voice. Like, absolutely. And then I'm like, wait, more of a man. Yep. And you know what? She's bigger than me. She's like 5'10". Like, she could probably beat the crap out of me.
She just grew an inch in like,
or 5'9", or I don't know. Minute. Everybody is 5'10" to me. Like, I don't know. Shut up, Jay. But like, if you guys haven't seen any of the video posts that I've posted of like the teasers, I got one more to post, which I'm supposed to post tonight before hockey, but I won't be able to probably. But I'll post it tomorrow, I promise. But that episode, or that airing week starts Monday. So the Sadie Bass episodes start airing Monday. So I'll be posting the final teaser of it tomorrow. And it's the teaser of her singing with me playing guitar, and it's like the crescendo of the episode, if you will. So I'm really, really excited about that. But you guys got to see it. It's just, she is so cool. She's one of my top 5 favorite guests I've ever filmed with. And it's not because like the episode was like, the most over the top episode. It was just like, she's so authentic. Like, you don't get that from people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get like that much authenticity. Like, she was like, her and her manager were both like, hey, I'm going to try not to swear, but like, if I do, sorry, like, I don't know how to stop. I'm like, look, be you, we can edit, like, be you. Mm-hmm. And like, it was just incredible. It was absolutely an amazing episode. But yeah, I mean, I guess the big part of all that rant that I just went on is the fact that we're on Discovery Channel this year.
That's awesome, dude. That's huge.
I got my own applause track.
I'm surprised he didn't play that like on the way in. Like, I was fully expecting that.
We should stop and start this whole thing over.
We should. Yep.
If I had time, then we could definitely.
I've never wanted an AI me more than now.
Oh, I could totally get that. Totally get that. I'm sure your wife says that too.
Ooh. Shots fired. Ooh. Shots fired.
Anyway, so yeah, dude, can you believe it? We are on Discovery Channel. We're the only kayak fishing show on Discovery Channel.
And your head hasn't gotten any bigger.
No, I mean, it can't. That's the best part.
No, that's a huge accomplishment, man. And we talked about that in the preface, like seeing yourself work yourself up through the ranks, right? Like, and not even the ranks, just you and your hard work and your ethic finally paying off, and you achieving like all the goals that you set forth, you know?
Oh yeah, and the funny part is like these weren't even part of my. This wasn't part of my trajectory that I planned. Like I didn't have my sights on Discovery since day one. Like I had my sights on Netflix since day one. But Discovery was just it was one of those things where I was like, oh, that'd be cool one day, and I kind of wrote it off because my favorite two shows ever in my whole entire life were on Discovery Channel. I was such a nerd when I was a kid. Like I loved watching How It's Made. I still do. Like the How It's Made show is one of the coolest shows ever made. It really is.
It's a good show.
It sounds stupid, but like watching springs get made, it was just so fascinating. Or pencils, or like just like the craziest things. Because then when you use it every day, you can look at it and go, "Hey, I know how this was made," and it makes you appreciate things a little bit more, and it makes you understand things. Like I like to understand how things work. I was the kid who took apart things all the time to see if I could put them back together or not. Usually I couldn't, but I want to see how things worked. So that show and Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs. I loved the idea of the way that he would go and show someone cleaning a sewer and not making it like a derogatory job, but making it like, here's the importance of this job. Like, here's how important this person is that society writes off as like a terrible job. The dude makes $100,000 a year, and without him, you wouldn't have bathrooms. You know what I mean? Like our society wouldn't work. And it's like, oh, like I loved that about Mike Rowe. And he's such a great, genuine person too. So the fact that my show is kind of based off of those as well, between Bill Dance, Mike Rowe, and How It's Made, that's what my show is. And I hope it is. It's my goal to always make my show like that, where we show how things are made. We show other jobs, whether they're glamorous or not. And then we show you an entertaining version of fishing. Will you get her to stop running though? Because it's making my microphone shake. It's okay. I have a hyperactive dog and a hyperactive girlfriend. So if my show ends up being a combination of those three things, that's all I ever wanted. The fact that we had a Discovery Channel offer, like I didn't seek it out. Like I literally had an agency tell me like, hey, we work with NBC Sports and Bally Sports and Discovery Channel. Like, do you want to try to submit to Discovery to see what happens? And I was like, ha ha ha, ha. Like, it's funny. And then they're like, no. Like, do you want to submit to it? And I'm like, sure. They're like, it's really hard to get, like, blah, blah. And then I decided to not, like, here's some little inside info too that I don't usually share, but you can sell your show or you can not sell your show. I didn't want to sell my show. I talked to a few agencies and a few managers and people that have had TV shows for, decades. And I've asked a lot of advice from a lot of people that are smarter than me. And I was told if I'm able to, never sell my show, never sell my book, never sell my board game, never sell anything, because if I sell my rights to it, I lose it. You lose control of it. You lose the integrity of it. You lose, like, look at, was it the Beatles that sold their music rights to Michael Jackson and they never got them back? Like they're just like, once you sell your rights to anything, we did a episode with Sponge, the 90s rock band Sponge. We couldn't use any of the recordings because they sold them to Sony and we couldn't get permission to use their own music in the episode with them in it. Like, it was so crazy. And I was like, this is dumb. They're like, yeah, well, we get 4 cents every time you play it. So, and it's like, so I was literally instructed, like, if you don't have to, like, if you can do it, it's not fun, it's not easy, don't sell your show. So we went to Discovery and I said, cool, I'm not selling you my show. I don't want to even consider that option. Like, it's not even our conversation. I want to own all the rights, all the control. I want to do everything. I want to incur all the risks. I want to pay all the network fees myself. I want to do everything. I'll pay my own crew, everything. I'll cover everything, but I don't have to lose all my content, and I can still air on as many networks as I want at the same time. And I can do whatever I want in their guidelines. And they denied me 5 times, like 5 different submissions. And the agency was like, all right, let's pump the brakes. Like, you can submit next year. And I'm like, no. I'm keep on improving my work and I'm not giving up. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm going to push until they either tell me to go away or say yes. Like, one of the two is going to happen. And our 6th submission, they called me back and they're like, hey, so Discovery Channel said yes. They're like, it's somewhat probationary until we see your first episode to make sure that my denial letters were like this long of the reasons why. My acceptance letter was like that long of reasons why it needs to get better for it to keep on going. So we improved everything. And now we talked to the network 2 days ago and they reviewed our first 2 episodes and they were just like, yes, these are amazing. Like, these are exactly what Discovery Channel wants. It's exactly what we like, more than what we asked for. Like, it's going to be one of the better looking shows amongst the other shows. And I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. I told my crew yesterday and they were blown away too. Because we're just working so hard on this. It's hard to see from the outside of the dust cloud, So the fact that we got on Discovery is insane. The fact that we are impressing Discovery without even airing yet is even more insane. The fact that we've had other network contact us already, just based off of like seeing clips and hearing like press release stuff, like little quiet stuff, and like everyone knows everybody in the network kind of thing. This agency knows this person in this agency. So we've had people contact us and be like, hey, if you're interested, we got NBC Sports knocking on our door. We got Bally Sports. We got all these other networks that are like, hey, we like your show. Like, want to talk? And I'm like, yeah, maybe like in a year or two. Like, hold on. We just got on Discovery Channel. Like, that's the biggest network in the world now. They just merged with Warner Brothers, and now it's the biggest network in the world. So like, we're pretty comfortable if we can last. The problem is with Discovery, since it's Discovery, Liberty, get out of here, go. Discovery, they can literally get an episode and just say, nope, we don't want to air this one. And there's nothing you can say or do. Nothing. They don't own my show, so they can't cancel it, but they can refuse to air an episode if it doesn't fit their standards, or if I say something wrong, or if I show a paintball gun in the background. I was told,
even a paintball gun. Oh, that's right.
I had to cancel my paintball episode because of that. Anything that resembles a gun, because if they don't own the show, they don't own how it's portrayed. They can't control it. It's not their crew. It's not their editors. It's not their sound guys. Totally understand it. Just didn't expect it. We had a lot of episodes that we ended up having to cancel and guests that we had to stop working with. And it's a big deal, but we are the only kayak fishing show on the Discovery Channel. My hope is just that it's going to put this big spotlight on the sport of kayak fishing. I just hope that people see it that have never even heard of the sport, or never taken it seriously, or never thought it was like a real, like, just like I did. I didn't know kayaks were like a real viable fishing vessel. I just thought it was like if it's there's waves, you can't be in a kayak, or, oh, I got to go more than like 25 feet. So no, I can't have a kayak, or like, no, I need room to move and stand up. Like, I didn't know these things existed. And that's what made me fall in love with it, is they did exist, and they do exist. So I'm hoping that once my audience on Discovery Channel sees, most of my audience now already, and on the new audience, they're probably not going to be fishermen. Like, they're going to be outdoorsmen. Maybe they might be into fishing a little bit, but they're going to be fans of anything on Discovery Channel. You know what I mean? Like, we're the only show like us on Discovery Channel. So people just organically watching it that just happen to come across our show are going to see our sport and just be like, holy crap, is that cool? Like, I want to get into that, or my nephew wants to get into that, or my dad, or my uncle, or my brother, or my son. Someone they know is going to want to check it out. And if it puts this big, broad spotlight on the entire sport like that, then all the little moving parts in the sport, the brands, the sponsors, the athletes, the professionals, the podcasts, the everything in that sport is all going to have light shined on it. Like, all of it. It's just, I hate repeating this quote over and over, but it's such a good quote. But like, a rising tide raises all ships. And I feel like being a kayak fishing show on Discovery and being the first one and the only one like this, I think it's going to put that spotlight and just shine on everybody. And it's just going to open up opportunities. I hope. That's all I'm hoping, because if our sport gets bigger, like, I brought in a propane company, the largest propane company in the country, into the sport for the first time. And if it goes well, I'm talking to them about it already. I'm hoping that they expand in the sport, and maybe they can start sponsoring some events and get their foot in the door a little bit, and just kind of make people more aware of, how propane is better for the environment than natural gas. And, there's all these benefits, and maybe that'll end up in having a sponsorship team or something. You know what I mean? Like, it could just elevate people in the sport with new opportunities. And I'm really hoping that, between the books, the board games, the TV show, anything we do in the future, whether it's an animated series on Cartoon Network, or, whatever it is, everything we do, all the kids camps I do, I'm hoping they all just inspire people and motivate people and provide opportunity for people, and just bring positivity into all this stuff. Like, so many people rely on kayak fishing or fishing in general, or being outdoors, as their source of therapy and peace. And some people, it's their only source of peace and happiness and therapy. So if we can make that bigger and make it more profitable and make it easier for them to do, then why not? Can you get Peter, please?
It sounds like there's a baby in the background.
Like, I love that he's playing. He has an enlarged heart and he has congestive heart failure and all this other stuff. So, like, the fact that he's playing with this toy makes me happy. And the fact that he's like digging at the squeaky toy right in front of my screen over here.
Yeah.
Thank
Front
you.
and center.
But anyway, yeah. So, so can you explain the hashtags? Like, Brian hasn't said a word this entire time. He's
I know it's a marketing
like a
thing.
mad scientist. Like, you need a light shining upward. It's like
I don't know what you're talking about.
Brian is a dork.
Hashtag I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hashtag Brian's a dork.
For real though, is it what's the point of it? Is it just because the more hashtags you have, the more searchable? Is it like an SEO play?
Mike, can we talk about this off the air, please?
Okay.
It's magic.
There's just so many. Play with your toy. Squeaky toy, dog toy. My ADD is way too bad for you to do this stuff.
Well, I saw you reading. It's fine. You just you kept going. You're fine.
I know, but as I'm reading, I'm like, don't say these words I'm reading. Don't say these words I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Well, it seems like you've been busy and you've been staying out of trouble, man, which is really good.
Oh, not at all. I've been in so much trouble, man. It's crazy. I've been working till like last night. I worked till like 4:00 in the morning. I was up watching TV till about 5:30. I'm a movie fanatic, so I watch at least one movie a day, if not more. And sometimes it's 90s movies. That's what I watch a lot of. But I like watching anything new. And got up at 8 in the morning to go fishing and with a buddy today and fight the wind and stuff. And then I have hockey tonight and everything. But dude, it's been insane. Like. I just want to add this, by the way. I don't brag ever. Like you guys know me. Like, I like to be a smart. I can't swear on this. Can I swear on this?
Sure.
Can I say the A word?
Well, yeah, that's an okay one.
Like the A with 2 letters after.
I mean, I would just stay away from the F's and
okay, so
probably the C's.
I can say ass.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you already did, so we're good. You
got you don't got to celebrate it, all right?
You guys sleeping? Like, you got to bleep them. All right. Sorry.
Thank you.
You had to yell downstairs.
I have the beep thing on my. I have.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying now. Anyway.
How great I am.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. But no, I don't. I'm a big smart ass all the time and everything, and I never really pat myself on the back or brag or anything like that. But there is one thing that, like, so I had this. This is gonna be the biggest like douche thing I've ever said on here, which is a pretty big claim. I had the county clerk of my township call me or email me like a couple, I don't know, maybe a week ago, 4 or 5 days ago, ask me if I can come into the township for a big meeting, and it's on the local TV thing live and stuff. They want to give me like a certificate, like an award for all the stuff I do for the township and all the kids camps and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And she's like, you know what? And like, we kind of know, we meet all the events and stuff. So we kind of know each other a little bit. She's like, she follows me on socials and stuff. She goes, you never brag. You never, like, she goes, does your mother ever tell you that it's okay to pat yourself on the back? And I'm like, well, yeah, but it comes off like I'm a huge jerk if I do that. But I'm like, it's really hard. And she goes, no, we're going to give you an award in front of everybody and you have no choice but to accept it. And you need to like be proud of it. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. But then I thought about it and it's like, she's right. I never because it sounds bad to me. So I never brag. Like, I stopped promoting my pay it forward stuff. Like, I used to post not all, but like a lot of the pay it forward stuff I used to do because I want to inspire people to do it. And it inspire people to do it. But I got so sick of the hate mail I would get by people being like, oh, if you film it's for the wrong reason, or if it was real, you don't have to film it. It's like, well, no, you idiot. I'm not filming every single pay it forward thing I do. I do like 2 a week, every week, all year long. I just film the ones that I think would be really cool to share or that we can get away with filming because I want people to be inspired to go do it too. But I got sick of it, so I quit doing it because it came off the wrong way. So anyway, I'm about to say something that's probably going to come off the wrong way and sound like I'm being a jerk, but I'm super proud of, it's not just me though, it's my team, but our projections, we just did them. I might even have them right here. We just did them the other day. We had to go through all of our network paperwork and everything for all of our air times. We're airing 110 times in 6 months. So like we have a lot of air times for our show, and it's not counting streaming and socials and everything, just on cable. We have 110 air times. Out of those 110 air times, out of all the streaming networks that we're on, and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, we're projected to hit over 7 million impressions this year. Now impressions are based off of people that see it, like exposed to it and seeing it. On cable alone, just live viewers were projected to hit 3.12 million in 6 months. Our average right now before Discovery is like 1.6, 1.7 million, which is still great. Airing only a half season on Discovery, where, I mean, 3.12, like that's just ridiculous. And like, it's just insane to think like there's millions of people that watch my show. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird to say that and think that, but I'm so proud of it that 7 years ago I quit my job and I had a YouTube channel with 36 subscribers on it and 7 videos. I know that number really well because I'll never forget the first phone call I ever made to a brand that I didn't know already and try to get sponsorship because I wanted money. Because I just quit my job and I was broke. I called Austin Canoe and Kayak and I was like, hey, I want to work with you guys. And he goes, okay. And ironic part is that guy that ran the marketing now runs the marketing for Feel Free, ironically enough. But so now we're like really close and we're good friends and we've worked together for a long time now. But I called him up and I got on the phone with him. I don't even know how I even got on the phone. Oh yeah, I do, because I used to work with Summit. But anyway, I got on the phone with him and I was like, hey man, he's like, yeah. So what do you got? Like, how many subscribers do you have? And he was expecting like me to be like an influencer because I was asking for money, you know? And he goes, so is this your channel right here? Bassquatch Hunter TV? And I was like, yeah, that's my channel. He goes, you have 37 subscribers? And I'm like, yep, I do. And 7 videos? Yep, 7 whole videos. I did all 7 of them myself. And I was like, I didn't know. And he goes, yeah, so we're not going to pay you anything. And like, good luck. And I like what you're doing. And it's different. What you're doing is not, no one does what you do the way you do it. So good luck. And I was like, okay. And that's like how I started. And that was my motivation where I was like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. So how do I make sure no one says no? Like, how do I make it good enough where people can't say no? And that's what started my journey. And then 7 years later, this is my 7th year. So 6 years later, we have 7 million impressions on Discovery Channel, and we're airing on Discovery Channel and Pursuit Channel. We have openings to air on 3 other major networks next season too, if we want to. And if we can afford everything to do it, to make it all happen, because it's crazy how many crew members we have to add for everything. I mean, it's just like, it's mind blowing to me. Like when I get more than 25 likes on a post on Facebook, I get excited. Like it's mind blowing to me. I'm like, geez, more than 25 people liked my post. Like it's just so weird to me that people react to like just something that I've been doing for so long and it's never changed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm no different than I was 6 years ago. My content, it looks better, but it's still the same stuff. Like, I'm doing the same stuff. I've been using Feel Free kayaks since day one. I bought my first 2 from ACK. I'm still using FX custom rods, the only rod brand I've ever used since I started doing this. Before they even made production rods, I was using their custom rods. Like, it just blows my mind. And that's why, like, circling back to the whole beginning of this whole interview or whole podcast here, that's why it's so important to me that, what I do shines a light on the sport and inspires kids and people of all ages to get out and try new things. Because if I wouldn't have done that, I would still be doing marketing, which was a great job. I did promotional marketing for a living. And I did, marketing for like Kevin Van Dam and Eminem and Kid Rock. And, I hospitals and libraries and breweries. And like, I had some great experiences. I love my job, but I wasn't passionate about it. And I would still be there. I know I would. That's where I got my sticker sheets made, actually. So I still go there a lot. But it's amazing to me that if I wouldn't have taken that risk and just met new people in a new sport and tried something completely different, something I've never done before, like if I wouldn't have done that and I wouldn't have believed in myself enough to get through the failures of it, like every time I failed at something, every time I was told no, every time I was denied something, every time I lost something, if I didn't have that belief in myself to go forward, like I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't be where I'm at or where I'm going to be. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so important that you guys all go to sethsquatch.com and buy this book right here. So you guys can get inspired and motivate people and, support us making more of these books so we can inspire more people to do the same thing. I'm hoping that I see 1 million more fishermen that are better than me and 1 million more content creators that are better than me and 1 million more shows that challenge me to keep, evolving and growing to stay where I'm at. I hope that people succeed doing this, and I hope people succeed at whatever they want to do. Like Jay, if you want to be a baseball player, man, like, I always tell people this whenever I do speeches at schools. If you want to be a professional baseball player, there's a very good chance that's out of the cards for you at the age you're at. Not saying you're old or anything, but like you got to be like 18.
He's old. He's
no,
old
but
as
like,
shit.
like I always wanted to be a professional hockey player, but after you,
I haven't looked back.
but no, like after you turn like 25, your professional sports career is pretty much out of the cards. Like it's just how it is. Like you got to, it's a young man sport. You know, a lot of the retired hockey players that I like play hockey with now that are like long retired, they're my age, you know? So it's like, but if you wanted, and I, like I said, I do this when I do speeches in schools a lot. If you're not the best basketball player in the world, or you're not tall enough, like I'm not tall enough to be in the NBA, no matter how good I was, your dreams of being in the NBA isn't over. You just got to find another direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to be on the court to be in professional basketball. You could be on the social media team if you want to do that. You could be a photographer. You could be a videographer. You could be the team trainer. You could be equipment manager. You could be a part of the machine. And, you know, and I've done that my whole life. Like I wanted to be a professional musician. I had radio play. I went on tour with a band and we just didn't have it. Like I wasn't good enough. Like it was just, we hit that brick wall where it was like, I didn't have enough talent to go further. So I had a choice and I said, well, I'm gonna start a music company then because I want to be in music for a living. So I started a music company. I started producing, I started writing, and I started actually making money doing music. And then same thing with hockey. I started teaching lessons when I couldn't make it any further. I started being a coach and doing private lessons and mixed martial arts. I couldn't take the abuse anymore of doing pro fighting. So I started a team and started training. So like there's other avenues to take. Like pro fishing doesn't mean you have to fish the tour. Like I did that for the first 2 years and I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not chasing.
It's
like
hard.
Dude, going from like Michigan to Florida and every single state in between, spending 8 months, 9 months of the year on the road, losing more than you're making just to hope that you can make enough money to afford to go to the next tournament. Like, you know, I used to fish with Kevin Van Dam at a lot of these charity tournaments that we used to do together. And he used to tell me these things all the time. He's like, dude, I couldn't afford to buy the stuff I have if I didn't get it given to me because I promote to earn these things. He's like, I lose more than I make. He started breaking this all down for me. He's like, the books, the well, this is back then, the books, the VHS tapes, the CDs, that's where he's like, that's what supports me. He goes, it's the marketing, it's the promotion, it's the merch. And that's kind of where I learned it, where I was like, all right, so 2 years into the sport, I was like, I don't want to do tournaments for a living because I can't afford to do that. I'm not the best fisherman in the world. I'm not going to win every tournament. Like nobody is. Like Tiger Woods doesn't win every tournament. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to compete with like some of these guys in the kayak fishing industry, man. These dudes are like Drew Gregory and Russ Snyder. And like, these dudes are just like hammers, man. Like I'm not going to beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd be lucky.
And I think it can be argued like a number of different ways, right? But really what it comes down to is, I mean, have the aspirations to get where you want to go, but also be realistic and be willing to alter, to a different course, because you still can get, I mean, there's like people in the band industry, right? So like I played in bands too for like 10 years, you know, I didn't tour nothing but, you know, local stuff and, you know, a couple states. But anyway, we all had, you know, in the 20s, like, oh man, it'd be great to make it and this and that. And then you get to start meeting people that are actually making it. And they're like, there's a lot of work involved. And then you find out how difficult it can be because everybody at that level is like the best. And it's hard. You know, it's not, I'm just to say, I mean, it's hard, but some people just got that gift and they just rise a little bit above everybody else. And those are the ones who move on to all what you hear or catch that lucky break, you know. But the point being is you don't have like, okay, so that doesn't work. So then, okay, well, maybe I want to be, you know, I want to be a booking agent. Maybe I want to be a manager. Maybe I want to open up a bar and have like live shows. Maybe I want to be the mixing guy. Maybe I want to be like their sound guy.
You know, every roadie for every band is a musician.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't fail. Like I've never, ever seen a roadie for a band, which a roadie is the people who set up a stage and everything for everybody, or guitar techs. They're all musicians. And it's not because they're just around it so they happen to pick up music. They're usually musicians that couldn't make it on their own, or they're studio musicians or something. Or they're building up to network to meet people, but they're all musicians that just want to be in the atmosphere. It's like if I wanted to come see you, Jay, where do you live now? What state are you in?
I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee. I always forget if you're Kentucky or Tennessee. That's why I asked.
Close.
Aren't you near the border? Yeah, I always forget.
I'm like 45 minutes from the border, pretty much.
So let's say I want to drive to Tennessee. It's a straight shot down I-75 from where I'm at from Detroit. If I-75 was closed and I still wanted to get to you, I still wanted to get to your house, there's a million other routes that I can take and paths that I can take. Some might not be as scenic or as fast or as comfortable. Some might be way out of the way. Some might encounter some obstacles, but I can still get to my destination from all these different paths and avenues and different forms of vehicles or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these ways to get to my goal still. And I feel like people just forget, like, I want to be a famous baseball player, and this is the direction I have to go. If I get one rejection, if I can't make it in college or AAA or juniors, I'm done. It's like, well, no, you hit that roadblock and then you go around it. Like, haven't you ever played a video game before? Like, you know, you hit a obstruction and you find a way to defeat it, and you find another path to go around it. Like in Call of Duty, you don't just keep on running head on to the other team and get shot. You find a way to flank them and go around them and try to be strategic. And then that's the point of the game. And that's the point of everything, is just if you hit an obstacle in the road, you don't give up. And that's where 99% of people go in every industry, is musicians or athletes or fishing or whatever it is. They give up because they hit an obstacle and go, I'm done. Like, how many YouTube channels start up for fishing and they die off after 6 months because people realize you don't just start a YouTube channel and take off. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, you have to work. And it's that first impact of realization and reality of like, holy crap, this takes a lot. That's that first roadblock that people don't usually make over. But if you do make it over that, it's way easier because you just learned a valuable lesson that if you have a roadblock, you can move on.
Well, and then I learned a formula early on. You know, a lot of business people live by it too. Like, you have to fail to succeed. So it's okay not to, you know, it's okay to fail. So that's the other thing too. I think people have to realize, you know, it's not the end of the world. You'll find your way, kind of like what you're saying. You know, you'll get there. It's just like, you just want to get, you have to want to get there.
Well, I mean, you learn how to fight by getting punched in the face. That's the best way to learn. You know, like, you learn how to get up when you're a baby because you fall. So, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, and like I said, I hate to keep on plucking the book like that because I'm not doing it on purpose, but like, that's literally this first book, especially. That's like what is so personal about this book to me, is that, you know, Seth was like afraid of humans, like people different than him. And, you know, it took him to actually just do it before he realized he could do it. And then that's what opened up the whole world for him, where he was like, all right, well, now what else have I, like, now that that's out of the way, like, you know, there's no age of Seth, but he's not 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, he's been in that rut of, you know, don't try anything new for so long. And he finally met a kayak fisherman, and it just so happens kayak fishermen are some of the best people in the world. And, you know, he was like, all right, now that I got the hard part of the way, now the rest is easy. Like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's how I could tell.
We could hear.
That was Maddie was like, Cedar, do you have to go potty? He's playing with his toy over here. Like I said, I love that he's being active and playing with his toy. So it's hard to not like let him do it because he's on so many medications right now. He gets sick all the time. And it's just like, anyway. So what I was getting at is, the whole point is Seth did his roadblock. And once that roadblock was removed, then he's like, all right, I got confidence now. Now I believe in myself. Now I'm ready to try anything and do anything. And that's the big part of this book. And I really hope that you guys all go online and order this book. Even if it's sold out, we're going to keep it open for orders. It'll just be like a 2-week delay. But once it sells out, it'll say sold out for like a minute, and then, or maybe a night. And then it'll just, you know, have like a longer delay before you get your books. But right now it's like a couple days, it'll be at your door. But we only have like less than 10 left. I don't know the exact number. I've been getting orders all day today, and I just haven't really checked the inventory, but I bet you it's under 10. But this book is so personal, whether you're an adult, whether you have kids, whether it's a gift for kids. I had someone order 5 this morning, or last night, sorry, in the middle of the night, ordered 5 for Christmas gifts. And I was like, hey, by Christmas, we'll have like 8 more of these books out at least, hopefully. So like, might want to hold on because you're going to buy book sets from like, you know, by then. She goes, nope, I'll buy them one by one. Keep on going. I'm like, all right. But go and check this book out, guys. It's super cool. I promise you'll love it, regardless of your age, or you don't have to like fishing even. You know, even with my TV show, if you don't like fishing, every episode's different. You know what I mean? Like, there's firemen in one episode and there's country singers in the next. So we also, a little fun fact really quick here. I've never announced this, or have not announced this yet. One of our episodes this season is actually a remake of an episode we already did because, well, there's a lot of reasons, I guess, but we did the fireman episode. we had a new editor come in and take the entire episode that I did and literally scrap it and start from scratch. Used zero of what I did, re-edited an entire thing. We went and filmed some more shots for it. That's why I had just the mustache like a month ago. We went and filmed some more shots for it and got some new footage for it. And the new fireman episode, from what I've seen in the rough drafts, is like, it's almost like it doesn't even look like the same as the old one, but it's the same footage. We used that one twice because it was such a personal episode, because the fireman that we filmed with has been a close friend of mine for a very long time. I think being a fireman or a first responder in general is one of the most selfless things someone can do without being, a superhero. And doing that episode was just like the biggest eye opener for me for what they actually go through. And I mean, I pooped my brains out in that episode. And that was just doing 6.5 minutes of their job. Like, it was just mind blowing. I did meet their a very, very high level of their standards for their agility course, wearing all the gear. But I ended up throwing up so much afterwards that I would have been, if that was real life, I would have been like, hey, sorry, someone's dying over there. I'm dead. Like, I can't do anything. I'm throwing up over here. Like, I can't move. Like, these guys that do that repeatedly, call after call, are just so incredible. So one of the episodes this year that airs on Discovery is the new revised, like, part 2, I guess you could say, of the fireman episode. But other than that, they're all unique. We have a propane based episode, which actually was super cool. It's like a how it's made thing. We have Brooke Fletcher. Holy crap, was she awesome. She's a former Miss Georgia. She's the host of The Rally on Bally Sports in Chicago. She's got a huge history with ESPN, and her dad and brother and everyone in her family is like professional, or used to be the retired professional baseball players. I think her dad's like Hall of Fame worthy or something too, like super, like, amazing family. And she'd never fished before in her life, and she was talking trash as soon as she got in a kayak for the first time. Like, she was like, literally like, I'm gonna beat you, I'm catching the first fish, and like knocking my fishing rod out of the way so she could cast over somewhere. And I was like, caught her first fish ever in a kayak. We donated her kayak to a Boys and Girls Club in Chicago in the episode. Like, it's just such an amazing episode. Like, that one, holy crap. Like, this season is so cool, guys. And check out the book, check out the episodes, go on BassquatchHunter.com, and you can see a playlist of all of our episodes from last year right on the homepage. You just scroll down, it's all right there. So you can click any of our episodes from last season and watch them all. They're a lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Plugging my stuff.
Yeah, brother. That's awesome, dude. We appreciate you, man. It's again so cool to see how far you've come, dude, and all the cool accomplishments, the new things, the revamping of the old, and just continuing to
Wait, is Brian talking?
Build. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
That's him snoring.
Hold on. How do I type in hashtag Brian's talking?
Your hashtag's okay. Yeah.
And he's back. But no, you guys are awesome, man. I feel terrible every time I come on here too. Like, I just ramble and rant so much on here, man. And like, next time I come on here, let's make a rule. I've been on this podcast so many times with you guys. It's my favorite podcast to be on. Next time we do it, I want you guys to like tell me to shut up and interrupt me. And I want you guys to talk. I want your opinion on the book. I want your opinion on the show. And I want to hear you guys talk, man. Like, I feel like here I am.
Jay Brown is asking, what's the name of the show on Discovery? Because I think he jumped in the show late, so he probably missed the title of your show.
I'm just going to start all over my whole entire speech then.
Whoa.
So it's, I'm joking. I got to leave for hockey in like, actually, I got my last playoff game. Actually, it's not even a playoff game. Like, we're out of the playoffs. It's like a consolation game, I guess. But we're playing the Ford dealerships team that sponsors my show, actually, which is kind of funny. The name of the show is The Bassquatch Hunter, Fish Out of Water. And if you go to bassquatchhunter.com and click about, it'll give you all the air times. It'll give you where it airs. It'll give you everything, all the info on the show there. And then you can click where to watch, and it'll give you a link to Discovery Channel, a link to the Pursuit Channel, and a link to our YouTube channel. And it'll all be on there. If you click the Pursuit Channel link, it goes to our show, which isn't on their website yet for the season, because they don't put it online for free, obviously, until it airs on cable and is done. Discovery Channel, it'll go to their website, which will show our show on their calendar, but it won't show any episodes for free on the Discovery Go app until it airs for like 2 months. And then it'll be on YouTube literally the day after it airs. I upload on YouTube. I can upload on YouTube now. It's the beauty of owning the show, but I don't want to give it away and lose all the viewers. So May 27th will be the first YouTube drop. And that'll be amazing. That'll be the dairy episode, which is whatever your opinion is on dairy farming. I promise you, it's not what you expect. It was such a cool thing. It says got to stream it because we don't get good channels in Canada. So in Canada, you do get the Pursuit channel. I just don't remember. There is a provider in Canada that does a Pursuit channel. I know satellite like Dish Network and stuff like that does it, but I know Canada is different. But it's on the Pursuit channel right now. Well, like not right now, but like tomorrow it airs. On Fridays it airs at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it'll be on tomorrow. But yeah, go check it out. And it'll be on YouTube, like I said, the day after it airs on cable for the final airing. So May 27th will be episode 1. After that, I think episode 2, 3, and 4 will be on YouTube every week after that, and then a few weeks past that. So should be a lot of fun.
Go win that game, bro. We appreciate you taking the time out tonight to hop on, chat with us, and catch us up on all things Bassquatch hunter, brother.
Yeah, and you know what, to everybody out there too, and to you guys, I ramble a lot, but it's because I'm passionate about what I do. So I love talking. So if you do want more info on the show, please look it up online. Message me if you have any questions. Jay will tell you. You can literally text me, message me on Facebook, whatever, 24 hours a day, and I answer. And make sure you guys check out Paddle and Fin podcast. They do such cool stuff. Go back and listen to the episode from last time. Listen to every episode they've done. Like you guys literally, like you're probably like the only, and I shouldn't say this because I don't want to insult anybody. You're the only fishing podcast that I listen to. So I don't watch YouTube I don't watch YouTube channels on fishing either. Like I don't watch fishing stuff or listen to fishing stuff. I don't want to make my job like my free time is for completely like non-fishing stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't be surrounded by fishing stuff when I'm not working, or else it'll turn into like something I don't like. So it means a lot to me when I listen to any podcast or YouTube channel that has to do with fishing. And, I don't know why, but you guys have like one of the most diverse podcasts. Like, I'm not sure what made that happen, but like every episode you guys do, no matter who it is, it's not what you expect. It's not just like a boring conversation of fishing. Like there's always like entertainment value. So either way, everyone out there, make sure you guys go back and watch some other episodes, listen to some other guests. They do some great stuff and some really cool people on the show.
We appreciate you, man.
No need to plug us.
check out Jay's OnlyFans too. He needs to be able to put food on the table. So
what's the name of his OnlyFans?
I have it on my favorites. Hold on.
Just Elbows.
No, hold on. That's Grindr. Where's OnlyFans? Yeah. I have his profile saved in my favorites and all the apps.
Like, so it's all about elbows, man.
Hold on. Farmers Only.
Yeah. So I use like a really
right here. It's OnlyFans for Jay. So this one right here it's loading.
Yeah.
Oh, it just says I'm not Jay, but I can be for you. I don't know what his profile means. I don't know.
I'm not Jay.
Anyone who got that, I hope they laughed.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll wrap this up, man. We know you got to go anytime, brother. We appreciate you, and we look forward to the next version of the book coming out. And just keep wishing you nothing but success, bro.
Yeah, and I don't think I said this the whole time, but go to sethsquatch.com, seth-squatch.com, and buy a book.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Do it.
Do it.
We'll see you guys next week.
Do it.
We'll see you guys next week. We're here every Thursday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Till next time, boys and girls. Pet lines. Smooth paddle. Peace.